One of my favorite things lately has been interacting with all of the other like-minded small business owners inside of my free online community. If you want access to free resources, tools, trainings, tons of great sales advice, and just general encouragement for your business journey, then click the link in the show notes and join myself and other small business owners inside the She Sells Differently Facebook group today. Customers are impatient, and if you make the buying process difficult, they will leave. And they may have every intention of coming back later and making that purchase, but we are forgetful creatures. So make sure that you remove any barriers to clicking that order button. Hi, friends. Welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andy Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. We're back with another episode of the She Sells Differently podcast. So grateful you're here. Before we jump in to this week's episode, and it's a good one, I would be so blessed if you would take 5 seconds, pause this episode, take 5 seconds, and rate the podcast and give a review. It is a huge blessing to us, and it actually helps our rankings. It helps our podcast rankings, and it helps us reach more entrepreneurs and spread the word on how to sell differently. So if you will pause the episode, take just a few seconds to rate, review, and subscribe if you have not already to the She Sells Differently podcast, that would be amazing. Now, as we dive on into this week's episode, we're going to talk about 3 simple ways to make customers fall in love with your brand. Because here's the deal. When customers fall in love with your brand, they come back and buy time and time again. And in a world where selling can so often feel uncomfortable, it can feel awkward, and we can also, as entrepreneurs, just struggle to stand out in a crowded marketplace, we need to create brands that our consumers are falling in love with. And I venture to guess, I know I can think of multiple brands, multiple companies, and I venture to guess that you can too, that you do business with time and time again because you have that connection with them. You have that brand loyalty. You love that business. And I want you to pause for a second and think, why is it that you have grown to have loyalty, brand loyalty, and fall in love with that business? Why do you do business with them? So today we're going to talk about why people genuinely love doing business with companies. And I'm going to give you 3 simple reasons, and you're going to walk away at the end of this episode with action items that you can implement in your business today. Simple action items that will make a huge difference in how your customers are perceiving your brand. So the first one, being personable. Now, what does that mean? Being personable. It can mean a lot of different things, but here's what I mean. I mean, showing your face and building trust, because people buy from people. They don't just buy products from businesses. And so when you are actually the face of your brand, it naturally builds trust and connection with your customers. And it helps you to show up in an authentic way when you share behind the scenes content, and you can actually use video and different methods of social media to show your personality. And it doesn't have to be social media. You can do this in emails or even with your product packaging, but it creates a transparency and it makes your brand relatable. A brand that does this so well, whether you love them or not, I happen to love them, and I know so many others do. And one of the reasons I love them is because they do personality so well. And that's Southwest Airlines. I want you to think about the last time you flew with Southwest Airlines, if you've ever flown with them, and the flight attendants did the announcements at the beginning of the flight. They're not boring. They do it in such an authentic, friendly, personality-driven way. And it's fun. It's lighthearted. It's not stuffy. And I love that about Southwest. It's no frills, and it's definitely not a luxury airline, but they let their personality shine through. And that is part of their brand. And that's what makes their customers be loyal to them and fall in love with Southwest Airlines. The second simple way to create a brand that your customers will fall in love with is to surprise and delight them. And by that, I mean to go above and beyond with the small, unexpected details that create an unforgettable customer experience. Some simple ways that you can do this are with handwritten thank you notes, or even some bonus items when they make a purchase. Some other fun things that you could do that don't cost a lot. You could celebrate their milestones. Maybe they're repeat buyers. You can track that. Send them a thank you email or reward them when they hit a milestone, maybe their fifth purchase or something like that. Celebrate their birthday with an exclusive discount. Everyone loves getting a happy birthday email with a 10% discount code. Feature them on your social media. Personalize their shopping experience. If they've ordered multiple times from you, send them a note or an email letting them know, we notice that you love this product. Here's something special just for you. Or even give them a surprise upgrade on their order. Maybe it's faster shipping at no extra cost to them, or maybe you upgrade them to a larger size product than what they ordered. Or maybe it's an exclusive VIP list with early access to a sale or a secret members only coupon. Those are all just easy ways to make a customer feel noticed and to elevate the customer experience. A company that does this so well is Chewy. Chewy is a pet supply company, and I have been a longtime customer of Chewy. But one of the things that they have done in the past is when I have had medicine delivered for my pets from Chewy, they will also send a toy in the mail, a cat toy, which is so sweet. They also have exceptional customer experience. They donate pet food orders if a pet no longer needs them, or they'll send handwritten holiday cards. They just do small, simple things that surprise and delight their customers. And I have long been a huge fan of that company because of the small and simple things they do to make the customer experience just delightful. And our third and final easy way to build a brand that your customers will fall in love with is to make the buying process easy. I have talked about this before, but how often are you shopping or browsing on your phone or maybe on your computer and you get to the checkout and they ask for your credit card and they don't have a PayPal option or something simple and easy, and you have to actually get up to go find your credit card and listen, I'm just going to call it. We can all be lazy at times, and you end up not making a purchase because you don't feel like getting up right then and there. Friends, remove barriers and simplify the ordering process. Customers are impatient, and if you make the buying process difficult, they will leave. And they may have every intention of coming back later and making that purchase, but we are forgetful creatures. So make sure that you remove any barriers to clicking that order button. Here's some other common barriers to making purchases. Confusing websites. Maybe it's hard to navigate or it's unclear, or maybe the pricing is hard to understand or it's not very clear. Or maybe it's just a complicated checkout process in general. So you can really create a frictionless purchasing process when you create clear, easy navigation on your website. Maybe you need to outsource that to someone to really streamline that process, and you will see the return on investment in dividends. Offer multiple payment options. Just talked about this one. Offer Apple Pay, PayPal, Afterpay. There's so many different payment options now. Make sure that you're offering them so it's easy for your customers to make that purchase. Make sure that your website is optimized for the mobile shopping experience. Over 50% of consumers are shopping on their phones. So make sure that that is easy to navigate. And then last, but certainly not least, make sure you have a simple and easy return and exchange policy. A company that does this so well, and I've mentioned them before on the podcast, but it is Nordstrom. Because Nordstrom, you can shop in-store or online and you get free shipping, and their customer service is impeccable. I love that they make the purchasing process so easy and frictionless. And they also do a great job of my second example, which was surprising and delighting their customers as well. So Nordstrom is a great example of creating a brand that customers fall in love with. So there you have it. The first one was be personable, showing your face and building trust with your customers. The second was creating an unforgettable customer experience by surprising and delighting your customers. And then the third was removing the barriers and simplifying the purchasing process. I want to challenge you to do one thing in your business this week to help build a brand that your customers will fall in love with. Maybe that is to post a live or a personal story on your social media. Or maybe that is choosing a simple way to surprise a customer and delight them this month. Or maybe that is doing a self-audit of your website and your checkout process and how you can simplify that. But choose one way that you can build a better brand that your customers will fall in love with. Okay, that's it for this week. Simple reminder to go and rate and review the She Sells Differently podcast. And I'll be back here next Wednesday with an all new episode. Until then, I'm cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.